Hey guys, and welcome back to Tin Cup Outdoors. Today we'll be covering part 2 of our 3,200 mile road trip through Utah and Arizona. We'll be hitting 6 more national parks along with countless other stops that are equally as good, if not better. Joining me is my childhood friend Phil from Connecticut. And our ride is my ever-reliable 1986 Volkswagen vanagon. We join back into the cruise on our second breakdown of the trip. Now we are running to Arches National Park because the sun is going to go down in 45 minutes-ish. So we're going to try and get into the national park and watch the sun go down in the park. Just tightening the lug nuts that we may have forgotten to torque down. But we made it to Arches National Park. Arches National Monument was founded in April of 1929 and only just became a national park in 1971. There are over 2,000 natural stone arches. It's also home to the largest arch on Earth. Landscape arch spans over 306 feet. Racing the sun down, we make our way out to the Devil's Garden Trail. Hiking through these towering sandstone structures as the sun dipped below the horizon, leaving us with little time to hike back to the van. Okay, we are leaving camp now. We just camped out at the Temple Mountain Valley. Super cool place to camp. It was really sandy, so the van had no problem going through the sand. It had a lot of experience from the last few days. Now we are headed down to Goblin Valley State Park. Everybody said it was really, really cool at night, but we didn't have time to get out here last night. Goblin Valley is unlike any other place on Earth. Some say that these formations are actually intergalactic mushrooms from outside of our solar system that have been petrified into stone due to the high nitrogen in our air. Others say the sandstone was deposited here 100 million years ago and was eroded through natural causes. I'll let you pick which one you believe. We are leaving the Valley of the Goblins. It was rad. Like, weird and sci-fi and just freaking weird. We did a lot more hiking than we thought we were going to.
There's just so much to see.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised on how big it was. Like every turn you went, it just like got bigger. On the way out, we stopped and talked to the ranger at the visitor center. Talked to him about the rest of the trip, and he also told us where we're planning on camping tonight is covered in snow.
Yeah, so we went camping in the snow.
Yeah. Oh, damn. We're just cruising around these little hills, and all of a sudden we came across the Martians testing out their suits in a Polaris Ranger. Did not expect that. They're all just kitted out.
Full up suits.
Yeah.
Full up space suits.
Awkwardly, like, large helmets.
Yeah.
Phil and I spend a few hours exploring the Bentonite Hills and the neighboring dinosaur quarry. just out here off-roading a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do any of those. Only 1,000 miles from home.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
This place is sweet. Look at this guy.
Vanagon, straight up ripping it. Hitting a couple of these little berms. They look little from here, but they are pretty steep. Nothing in comparison to those, but the dirt bike bros were hanging out in the trailer, and we got them all outside of their trailer to watch us go around those berms. And the van did great. Leaving Swing Arm Valley, we make the short drive down to Capitol Reef National Park. Shortly after entering the park, we embark on the Hickman Bridge Trail. Granted, it probably hasn't done it in 1,000 years.
Where the ground level was when we did that.
Yeah.
You'd have to think of the hike up there.
Yeah. After stopping at the visitor center for a park pass and a map book, we head to the Narrows trailhead. Hiking the canyon south to north, you'll start at Burr Canyon, through the Narrows, and end at the Grand Wash. Just to turn around and do it all again in reverse. Well, Phil's been at the car watching for storms, and he said that there's one headed this way. So I met him back at the car, and on the way out, I am risking our lives for the Echo cave wall thing. It's pretty cool. Yo! Echo! All right, we're out of here. Yeah, we probably ought to be hitting the old dusty trail. We just got out of Capitol Reef and we are headed towards Torrey, which is our turnoff to go down to Boulder for tomorrow. The plan was to camp out on the top of this mountain range and some aspens. Sounded really cool. And as we're driving towards Torrey, we look over at the mountain range. There's snow in the mountains, which we knew about, not a big deal, but it's currently snowing on the mountains, which is significantly less ideal. It is exponentially better.
Yeah.
All right, we are back on the road, and then we were back off the road. We left camp this morning around 8-ish and went down this really bumpy road. Almost a foot of snow.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like nothing. Oh, this must be Sunflower Flat.
Yeah.
I don't see any sunflowers. For that matter, I don't see any
sun.
Yeah. It is pretty flat though. It is definitely snowing. Alright, we made it up to Sunflower Flat, and it is a pretty cool little area.
That's dope.
In the summertime, it would be rad. Yeah. Right now, it's currently snowing and probably 20s, I would assume.
Yeah.
Man, killed it. This thing is an off-roading beast. Here's the snow we had to go through. Somebody else lost a part of their front bumper. The van is not going to lose anything today. Well, there's the mountain that you can't see through the snow. But we made it down to Boulder, and we are checking out the Burr Trail. All right, I think I'm going to drive the bus into the river. So we'll see how this works. Making our way down to the canyon. Phil's currently piloting the ship down these pretty winding canyon roads. We almost drove past the Kiva Coffee House. I don't know what it is or how their coffee is, but it's in the middle of the desert, so I'm down.
It's closed Monday and Tuesday.
What's today? Son of a beautiful view. Well, the coffee shop is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. And today is one of those days. So we're loading back up in the van and we're gonna keep going. Headed over to Zebra Canyon and we're gonna check with a couple of slot canyons. Okay, hiking down the canyon. Big old swell. I'm trying to run downhill because I'm trying to keep up a little bit of speed and beat some rain. I'm sure any little bit of rain that falls around here is collected and funneled down these canyons. Now, my goal is to see the canyons, but avoid getting funneled and taken down them. Okay, well, it started to rain, so I am out of here. It's just barely sprinkling right now, but not worth hanging around. Super cool. Saw a lot of the cool part of it. Okay, just like that, the rains are coming in. Kinda cold. It's like a rain-sleet mix. And not gonna lie, it was a little sketchy in that canyon. It started raining. It was only 3 inches wide at the base, so it would not take much to flood that entire thing out. So that's where we want to go. That's where we're going. Okay, this is the campsite for tonight. Dispersed site number 10. So in this national forest, you can camp for free as long as it's in one of the designated sites. And there's like 30 something of them. Yeah, me and Phil just finished cooking dinner. Our chairs blew over, but it's snowing now. Pretty good. I would say it's snowing Dippin' Dots.
Holy shit.
Look at that. Snow and Dippin' Dots. Really quick. It is still snowing. It's about 8:30, so we're just gonna keep roaring this fire. There's a bunch of deadwood around, and we don't have to worry about burning down the forest today. We packed up and left the campsite just as the sun came up, in hopes of unthawing as the van warmed up driving up to the park. leaving the natural bridge of Bryce Canyon right now. Came up here right at the crack of dawn, had breakfast, and kind of have been freezing our butts off for the whole morning. Snowing on and off up here. So we're gonna head back down towards Inspiration Point and check that out. And then I think we're gonna hit the road. The red rock hoodoos jetting out of the pine forest below made Bryce Canyon feel like something out of a sci-fi novel. Bryce Canyon has enough trails to keep you busy for years. Unfortunately, we had other plans and had to cut our visit short. Oh, there's another one. Wow, what are the odds that those things lined up right with the road?
I know, weird.
Wow. After leaving Bryce Canyon thoroughly underexplored, we drive 2 hours south to the gem of Utah, Zion. Me and Phil almost just drove away. We did drive away. We drove out of the parking lot with the top open. Didn't even realize it.
Flag in San Paulo, Utah. Yes, you need to have a flag, specifically a whipped flag in San Paulo State Park if you're riding.
Our last camp in Utah was at Sand Hollow State Park, and to be honest, I was unsure of this park before arriving. But after staying just one night, it might have become one of my favorite official campgrounds that I've ever stayed at. Well, we almost got stuck right here. Coming down this dune, it kind of just bloop, lost momentum. Didn't want to spin out the tires and sink it completely. So we just shoveled out the sand around the tires. Was able to back up maybe a foot or two and then putt right out. Been fresh with the van again. Still maintaining my record of never being stuck. Never been stuck. As we shake the dust off the van, we make a quick stop at Horseshoe Bend. All of that driving leading up to one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Grand Canyon National Park. Just made it to our campsite outside of the Grand Canyon National Park. We're in the Kanab National Forest. Bunch of sites out here, like an infinite amount of space for campers or vans or whatever. We parked out next to the watchtower, so we're gonna walk over there and see if we can climb it or if it's locked. Just pulled over to make some breakfast, and we've got a pretty good view. My trusty coffee cup. Bought that from 7-Eleven on the first day, the first morning, and here we are. Okay, we're leaving the Grand Canyon now. We spent a couple hours driving around, walking around. Definitely limited on time this morning. Starting the drive back down to Flagstaff, where Phil is going to fly out of. So that's about the trip, at least for Phil. Yeah, I got another 12 hours of driving to do after Flagstaff. On the long drive home, I would stay mostly on I-40, taking a few detours here and there along Route 66 whenever I got bored of the highway. Just made it out to the Petrified National Forest. I stopped at the visitor center and found a few points that I want to stop and check out. A couple of short hikes, and then hop back on I-40 and keep driving. Now it was a little bit over a 2.5-ish hour detour, and the GPS is still saying 11.5 hours home. So I'm obviously going to stop somewhere on the way home. Where that is, I do not know yet. $5 in the morning. Slept at this casino gas station last night, just outside of Albuquerque.
Expensive humanoid or Tomcat catalog, after which it was posted to the UFO subreddit.